Fellow Patriots, I'm Michael Grimm, and I'd like to thank you for taking the time to speak with me today. As many of you may know, I'm running for Congress. And I'm running because I believe that we can, and we must, return our government back to the people. I know that the way we take back our country is by reducing the enormous size of government, limiting government intrusion, and promoting the individual liberty while unleashing the entrepreneurial spirit and relentless work ethic of the American workforce and small business owners within our free market system. These are the very ingredients that built this great nation. I believe there's no substitute for individual accountability and personal responsibility. And for that reason, it's time to hold our elected officials to that standard. We have an opportunity and a duty this November to hold our congressmen accountable. Accountable for the out-of-control spending that's led to unsustainable deficits that are going to burden our unborn children, for the high taxes that reduce revenue and prevent growth while further weighing on hard-working families and business owners barely keeping their heads above water, for the bloated government that's determined to intrude on our personal liberties and encroach on our businesses, stifling progress and growth that's desperately needed right now to create jobs. We need policies and incentives that put people back to work in the private sector, not in the ever-growing government. And for the lack of leadership in dealing with the tough issues such as immigration and education, for all the liberal policies that are crippling our nation's economy, like cap and trade and a failed stimulus bill. Stimulus was nothing more than a government spending bill that failed miserably to create jobs here in Staten Island and in Brooklyn. We need to hold our current congressman accountable for his very first vote in office, for Nancy Pelosi as Speaker of the House, and for every single bill she's forced upon us against our will, especially nationalized health care, for an utter lack of respect for our Constitution, as well as for all the failed policies that have weakened our national defense, our national security, all at a time when we are the most vulnerable, under attack by Islamic extremists, terrorists that are committed to destroying the United States and our allies. I give you my word and my promise. I will diligently uphold the Constitution, and I will lead effectively in Washington as a servant of the people, beholden to you and to your families, not to special interests or any party affiliation. I say this with all sincerity as a man of honor who's always put his country first. As many of you may know, I'm the proud son of an Italian-Sicilian mother and an Irish-German father. My father was the hardest working man I ever knew, and he will always be my hero. It was a very humble but strict upbringing, and I will never forget the values and morals that I was taught throughout my life. Equally important to me is my service to this great nation that allowed me the honor of serving among the greatest men and women this country has to offer, true patriots that sacrifice so much to make this nation a better place to live and to raise a family. As someone that served in combat with the United States Marine Corps and as a former special agent of the FBI, I know what it means to take an oath, to make a promise to serve this country. I did so effectively and honorably for more than 16 years. You can trust I'm the best man for the job, to effectively represent you, the people, during these most trying of times, to bring real solutions to the most difficult problems, because that's exactly what I've done for the past 21 years. At the age of 40, I spent most of my adult life effectively fighting for what I believe in. And although I'm gravely concerned about the future, I still believe in the United States of America. Because it's the people and their sacrifice that make us who we are. Lest we forget, freedom isn't free. It's the most precious commodity, and we pay for it with the sacrifices of young Americans. But right now we're at a pivotal point in our history. Now more than ever, we need leadership. Leadership that's been tested and proven. And I'm uniquely qualified to best lead our district in Congress because my strongest assets are my knowledge, training, and real hands-on experience with the economy and national security. With regard to the economy, I'm in the best position to lead because I've been educated, trained, and tested many times over in dealing with various aspects of our financial system. I earned my college degree in accounting with a concentration in finance while working full-time and putting myself through school. I used my education to earn an entry-level position on Wall Street, where I started as a research analyst, worked my way up, was trained, and eventually licensed to sell and trade securities. Later, as a special agent of the FBI, I was one of senior agents more than 5 years' experience specifically investigating complex financial frauds. That included going undercover for more than 2 years as the first FBI agent that successfully infiltrated Wall Street, posing as a hedge fund manager. I had to know the ins and outs of high-end finance. But most importantly, after leaving government service of more than 16 years, I started my first small business from scratch, arguably the most difficult and eye-opening experience of my entire life. I took a mortgage out of my house in Heartland Village and undertook the responsibility of employees relying on me and my success to feed their families. I later opened a second small business from the ground up and again worked 18-hour days relentlessly, but determined to succeed in a tremendously difficult economy. I will be proud to bring this real-life experience, extensive training, and my father's work ethic that was passed on to me to Washington, where I will roll up my sleeves and get the job done, just as I always have. My experience with national security issues go back more than 21 years when I left college and enlisted in the United States Marine Corps. I was trained in desert warfare, and that training was put to good use when I experienced firsthand the demands and stress of war, having volunteered for combat in Kuwait, where I was recognized and granted a battlefield promotion for valor. I spent approximately 13 years in federal law enforcement, first trained as a police officer, deputized by the United States Marshal Service, and later as a special agent of the FBI. Having held a top-level security clearance for more than 16 years, and being exposed to a myriad of security briefings, and having worked as an investigator on terrorism matters, I'm the most experienced, qualified individual in this race. And as your congressman, I will continue to use this vast knowledge and unwavering desire to eradicate terrorist threats that plague our city and our country. As a 9/11 first responder, I will never forget, not ever. This September you will have a choice during the Republican primary, and I will be working relentlessly to earn your confidence and your vote. I want you to know that I'm used to working hard, as I have lived by my father's example and his words. Nothing in life worth anything is ever given. It is earned. Well, I have a proven track record of earning everything I've ever gotten, and intend on earning your vote without special interests or corrupted establishments. I believe that words like honor, integrity, and character are not platitudes, but essential ingredients in a good, honest man. Most importantly is my motivation for seeking this important office. I'm running for Congress for the same reason that I enlisted in the Marine Corps, and the same reason I accepted an appointment to the FBI. Because I love this country enough to give my life for it. And I believe in the oath that I took 21 years ago to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and to bear true faith and allegiance to the same, so help me God. There was no expiration date on that oath, and you have my word. I will continue to honor and uphold it while in Washington as your congressman, and that is why I'm asking for your support and for your vote. Please, log on to my website at www.grimmforcongress.com. You can volunteer, you can donate. Once again, thank you for your time, God bless you, and God bless America. I'm Michael Grimm, and I approve this message.